This is the homework helper for Chapter 11, Section 3 in the 7th grade note-taking guide, Sample Spaces. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here. Number 1 says Marcus spins the spinner shown and flips a dime at the same time. What are the possible outcomes and how many outcomes are in the sample space? So finding the number of outcomes in the sample space, that's really easy, because as we learned in the instruction today, there's that thing called the counting principle. And the counting principle says we take the number of options available to us in the first event and the number of options available to us in the second event, and we multiply those together, and that's the total number of possibilities. So if we're flipping a coin, the dime, heads or tails, there's 2 options there. And then if we're spinning this spinner here, there's 3 options there. So we have 2 times 3 total possibilities, or 6 total possibilities. Now, the question asks us to go beyond that, though, because it's not just asking me for how many possibilities there are, but it's actually asking me for a list of possibilities. So one of the ways we can do that is with the simple tree diagram. So let's make a tree diagram. So first thing that can happen is we'll flip the coin and get heads or tails. Now, after I get heads or tails, I'm going to spin the spinner. When I spin the spinner, I can then land on 1, 2, or 3. So, if I spin heads first, after I get heads, I can grab a 1, I can spin a 2, or I can land on 3. However, I could land on tails on the coin and still then get a 1, a 2, or a 3. And there's all my outcomes. And indeed, as you can see, it vets out to show that there are 6 possible outcomes. Heads and 1, heads and 2, heads and 3, tails and 1, tails and 2, and tails and 3. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at a few questions down here at the bottom. Number 3. Number 3 says Susan and Ryan are playing a game that involves spinning the spinner at right and flipping a penny. How many outcomes are possible in the game? So it's not asking me for a list, it just wants a number here. Well, if we take a look at the spinner, there are 8 possible options on the spinner, numbers 1 through 8. And of course, if we're flipping a coin, there's 2 possible options there. So total number of possibilities here is equal to 8 times 2. Remember, that counting principle says we just multiply the number of options available to us together, and 8 times 2 turns into 16. All right, let's take a look at number 4, and that's where we'll finish. Number 4 says an Italian restaurant offers small, medium, and large calzones. The choice of fillings are cheese, sausage, spinach, or vegetable. How many different calzones can you order? Well, we can order a small or medium or large based on size, so 3 different size options. And of course, for fillings, we can do cheese or sausage or spinach or vegetable. So that's 4 different options. So if we have 3 options from size and 4 options for filling, the total number of options is equal to 3 times 4, or 12. There's 12 different types of calzones available to me with 3 sizes and 4 fillings.